could control it by killing people and using their souls. And that's an easy way to control it, which Saint Germain is forced to do. Or manipulated by Varney to do. But yeah, he needs to resurrect Dracula's wife, Luisa, fuse the bodies together to Rebus, and then he can use that to control the infinite corridor like a god. But then Death told him that Dracula would go mad from it, and his massacre would go on then. So he would never be able to control Dracula, even if he did that plan. So that's why when he did resurrect Dracula and he did resurrect Lisa, before he fused the bodies together into that Rebus, he sent them into the infinite corridor and closed it on them. So Saint Germain did redeem himself, and then for the most part of the season, he was a villain. But in the end, he did redeem himself. And when Trevor was killing Death, he opened up the infinite corridor so that Trevor could escape through it. And then Saint Germain died, apparently, because that's what Trevor said, right? Trevor said right before Saint Germain died, he opened the infinite corridor up so that Trevor could escape. So, yeah, I actually liked Saint Germain's character, though. He was actually one of the more enjoyable ones. I liked his character a lot. I wish he didn't have to die, but yeah, that's how it happens sometimes. Alright, let's go on to the other three vampire sisters with Carmilla. Just let me find their names first. Morana was the strategist member of the Council of Sisters. Yeah, Morana was the one who figured out Carmilla's plan was crazy, and she tried to convince her lover that they should just run away, or maybe that they shouldn't be a part of Carmilla's crazy schemes anymore. And that's exactly what they did. Not one episode later, but the next time they showed them. These sisters, Marana only appeared in like 2 episodes again. And the first time she appeared, she literally just hid while the fighting went on. And the second time appeared was after Carmilla died, and she went off just to go live a peaceful existence, apparently. And that was it. Her character was, as I thought in season 3, completely pointless. Like, okay, I thought all of season 3 was completely pointless. And Marana in season 4 literally did nothing, didn't contribute to the plot at all. She did. See, that's what I don't like. Alright, you can have characters who don't contribute to the plot that much, like Varney, and then they do something big at the end, and it's like, alright to have a character like that, because yeah, they did contribute to the plot in the end. It just took them 8 episodes of doing literally nothing. But then when you have somebody like Marana, she didn't even interact with any other characters outside of her circle of the 4 sisters and Hector. She didn't ever beat Trevor, she didn't ever beat Cypher, she didn't ever beat Alucard or Dracula or Saint Germain or Varney. She didn't interact with any of the other main characters of the season. So it's like, neither in season 3. So her character is isolated in her own world. And I think that's bad story writing. You shouldn't have it where one of the main characters doesn't meet at least a few of the other main characters besides her immediate circle. And again, since she did nothing in season 3 and nothing in season 4, her character was literally pointless. Alright. Let's go on to Lenore, who Hector had fallen in love with. Well, I don't think he actually admitted he fell in love with her. I'm pretty sure she fell in love with Hector as well. But Lenore was also one of the vampire sisters, part of the council. And she was their diplomat. And this season, I think she did have some good stuff going on. where she realized that with Carmilla's plan, there was no need for a diplomat in the group anymore. So she felt like they might cut her out eventually. Or that's what Hector assumed she was thinking. And then she died at the end by walking into the sunlight because she wanted to see what the sun looked like. Because Hector kept on going on and on about it. So she wanted to know what it was like. And with Lenore, she had Hector under a slave ring. So she was I don't know how slave rings work in Castlevania, because they've only shown one with Hector. But I'm pretty sure it makes somebody a slave to you. And somehow Hector was able to trap her and cut the ring off without her saying something like, I command you to stop. And it's just like, what? If she has him under a slave ring, why doesn't she give him a command like that? I never understood why she didn't. Like, was it because of the barrier she was trapped in, the magic that she couldn't do it? That's one thing I didn't understand. Or if she was skeptical about Hector plotting against them, why didn't she ask him and use the slave ring as to force him to give a correct answer? Why did she ask him to tell her if he was plotting against her, which he was? So I just feel like she wasn't as smart as she could have been. Like, you got the dude under the slave ring, and you hardly even use him like a slave. And then at the end, after she trapped him, Hector moved her to the dungeon, and then apparently moved her to some cabin where they stayed together. But she didn't want to live like that. And that's the one thing I didn't like about her character too, because she was saying that she wants stability. All vampires crave stability. That's why even though Carmela's plan was crazy and Ratko had a similar idea, they all loved it because it was stability. It would be putting the humans in a pen and you could just suck on their blood whenever. But the thing was, with Lenore, she did have stability at the end. She was imprisoned with no way out. Isaac was keeping a careful watch on her, and Hector was always with her. So it was stability. So then why would she just walk into the sunlight and commit suicide? I didn't get that part. I mean, I guess it's because she didn't want to be kept as a prisoner, but stability is stability. She never said she didn't want this kind of stability. She just said she didn't want to be kept as a prisoner. She just didn't look at it as a form of stability. Or maybe she felt like she was betraying her sisters, Carmela and the other two. But yeah, I think her character had some good points this season, but just like the last character I talked about, besides Isaac, she didn't come out of her immediate circle of main characters that she stayed around this season. She only interacted with 3 main characters, Isaac, Hector, and Carmela this season. Alright, on to the final sister. Striga. So yeah, Striga had a good fight scene, but I think it was a complete waste of a fight scene. Striga's character is completely wasted, I believe, as well. She was a warrior. She was a general. She commanded the armies of the 4 sisters. And that fight scene in the daytime was great. Day armor was something new. I'd never heard of it before in the Castlevania universe. So like, I think I show this again. This could be a new thing with the vampires fighting in the day now. And it was like a nice tease, and nothing came of it. So I was like, oh wow, it's terrible story writing. And she had a good fight scene, but again, besides her, she only interacted with one main character this whole season. And that was her other sister, Morgana. So yeah, Morana. Striga was wasted again. And she and Marana came to the conclusion that, yeah, they'll run off together and live a peaceful life together. Yeah. She did nothing in season 3, and now in season 4 does nothing. You could cut her character out, and it wouldn't change the plot at all. It would not change the plot at all. We just lose a cool fight scene, which is also completely pointless. Like, I thought it was a nice fight scene because it showed that the people were just farmers, and Striker said that they had this fear in their eyes, and it wasn't the fear of dying, but it was the fear of not trying. So I thought that was a great philosophical point to make. But again, Striker did nothing. Marana did nothing. They could be cut out from season 3 and 4, and it would literally change nothing. Because all they did was mostly interact with each other and talk to each other. And I believe that is all of the main cast of season 4. I believe. If there's anybody I'm missing, it's because they did not leave that good of an impression on me for me to really remember them that well. But then there are some other characters who appear in this season that need some mentioning. Dracula, for one. Well, at the ending of the series, the final scene was Dracula and his wife Lisa. Vlad Dracula Tempesh and Lisa Tempesh coming to an inn, checking in, and then talking about how they got a second chance. They don't know how. And it was great. It wasn't a great scene, but I mean, some of the stuff they said was great. Like how Lisa saying that as soon as Dracula died, she was surprised he didn't go up to the devil himself and demand the throne, telling him, "You keep the throne warm for me, but now I'm gonna take over." And I thought, I was like, that just showed how powerful Dracula literally was. Like, if he could challenge the devil for the throne of hell upon dying, Dracula must be extremely powerful. But yeah. After Saint Germain resurrected them and he pushed them through the infinite corridor, I guess their bodies developed. Because when he pushed them through, their bodies were like in agony and withering. It was just kind of gross, actually. I mean, it wasn't decaying or anything like that. It was just like they were constantly screaming. They didn't really have any physical features. They were just like a white mold of who they were. Yeah, and it was constant pain, apparently, to both of them. I would have kind of liked to see them as a rapist, though. I would have liked to know how that would have looked, how that would have been, how powerful they could have been. I think that would have been a good plot line to go down. But Netflix did say season 4 was the final season. They only had 10 episodes. They had to wrap it up pretty quick. So I guess there was a time to make them into rapists. But I think that could have been a good plot line to go down. How powerful Dracula, how mad Dracula could have been. I don't mean mad as in anger. I mean mad as in insane. And how death could have manipulated him like that. That would have been a good plot line, maybe an opening for a 5th season. But yeah, thought what they did at the end was a nice ending to Dracula. Gave him a happy ending with Lisa. Like they said they were gonna go visit Alucard, their son, whose real name is Adrian Tempesh. They said they were gonna go visit him again one day, but they were gonna give him some time before they did that. Thought it was a nice ending, but it wasn't the ending I wanted for them. I think once Dracula died, they should have just left him dead. I think that covers all the main characters and all the supporting characters this season. So now talking about setting. Majority of the season takes place in a few locations. Well, one is Dracula's castle by the Belmont Hold, the Belmont Library, which later is turned into the village of Belmont, or Trevi. I have no idea what village name they actually decided on. That's where the final battle against Death and Saint Germain takes place as well, and where the resurrection of Dracula happens. It was a landmark that had been used in ever since season 1. So I believe it was a fitting place for the series to actually end there. But then they did really mention that the country's name was Wallachia. I didn't really hear them mention that at all this season. And that lady, Zamfir, I hated her so much because of what she said about her city. I gotta look up the city. It's Tagovishna. I remembered it. Never mind. Tagovishna. I hated her so much because of what she said about Tagovishna. She said that it was a country. And I was like, oh, I want to punch her so bad. And then when they're like, it's not even a country. Well, I'm pretty sure she said nation, country, and then she was talking about capital of Wallachia was Tagovishna. And they're like, nope, it's not even the capital. So why do they have a king and a queen there? It's not any. I mean, it was a good city to live in, but still, I don't get why they had a king and a queen there. Other villages had judges or heads. The Tagovishna, I think they kind of left things unfinished there. Because what happened was Trevor and Cypher went there. All this stuff happened. Basically, the royal guards all died, and the people were just left to fend for themselves. And the people were basically dying, too. Most of them had broken bodies, couldn't do anything, and they did not know how to organize at all. The town was overrun with night creatures. So, yeah, Tagovishna is kind of just left like that. I think somebody should go back there and help the people. But now the main characters decide, you know what, we're gonna set up a new place called Belmont or Trevi. I still have no idea what they decide called. The only reason it's between those two names is because Alucard suggested Belmont, and then because they all thought Trevor died because nobody knew Saint Germain opened the portal to the Infinite Corridor for him to escape. So they all thought he died, and Cypher was pregnant with his child. Which they didn't even give any hint that those two were in a romantic relationship this season. Not even a hint. I mean, season 3 they did in the first episode. But, yeah. So I thought that was a terrible plotline to all of a sudden say, she's pregnant. She didn't give any hints she was pregnant. I mean, she had some mood swings, but I wouldn't really consider that a sign of her pregnancy. She wasn't craving anything. She was angry a lot more than she usually was, but I think that was due to just being around Trevor for so long and taking on some of his personality. But then with the baby, before Trevor thought he was gonna die, he said, "Don't name the baby Trevi." And so then when Alucard tells him, we're naming the town, and we're forming a town, Trevor asks, what's it gonna be called? And Alucard just smiles at him and says, Trevi. I thought that was so funny. And Trevor just goes, oh God, somebody please kill me now. That was just hilarious. So yeah, I actually have no idea. Are they naming the town Trevi or Belmont? I don't know. And I won't never know because I'm not saying I'll never know. They don't plan to do a season 5, but they are working on a spin-off. And they may bring in some of the characters from this series in the spin-off, depending if the spin-off takes place after this, during this, or before this. And then there was that other village that also was part of the setting, Dynastia, which was quickly destroyed and overrun by night creatures, all orchestrated by Saint Germain, so that he could... Because when they sent for help with Alucard, Saint Germain needed some stuff in Dracula's castle to resurrect him. And so he needed to get in the castle. And so he decided the best plan would be to have night creatures and vampires attack, and then have the villagers send for help with Alucard, who owns Dracula's castle, and then suggest to Alucard that his castle is more fortified than the village. They should hold up there, do that, and then resurrect Dracula. So I feel like that setting actually did benefit Saint Germain's story a lot. As for the setting of the Infinite Corridors, I feel like in Season 3 we actually saw a little bit more of places it could go. Like, they had alien spaceships in season 3 as one of the portals. And they had giant machinery, like, not robots, but like, like kind of like AT-AT walkers from Star Wars is one of the places. And then there was a portal to hell in season 3. Well, in this season, I mean, Sandra Ray did use the infinite corridor to move around Earth a bit, and still he just teleport to a new location. Or he used it to go and visit the alchemist in that one universe. And the alchemist did mention that she used the infinite corridor to travel millions of universes in a year, calling herself a god because of that. But I feel like we still didn't see as much of the infinite corridor as we did in season 3, which may be the only benefit of season 3, but I feel like that was more fan service of all the places we saw it could go. Like, come on, alien spacecraft and stuff like that. That was definitely fan service. And now, but yeah, settings, pretty much sure the only other settings they had was the village that Isaac was at the beginning of the season, that he had defeated an evil wizard at, and then the part where the sisters took hold in the mountains. Mysteria, I'm pretty sure it's called Mysteria. I'm not looking it up because I'm 99% sure that's what it's called. Which Isaac later took over as his kingdom, I'm guessing. Because it's not clarified if he did or didn't take it over as a kingdom. But that was all for setting. Now onto plot. Okay, the plot of this season. The pacing of the season in general. The pacing was just too slow in the beginning, and then it picked up too fast near the middle, and then I think at the end it was a nice even pace actually. For the final 2-3 episodes, I feel like it was a nice even pace. It was too slow in the beginning because the first 4 episodes were literally the exact same thing, just going over different characters, and then the middle episodes are too fast because there's just a lot of things happening. A lot of plot lines are coming to an end. A lot of characters are suddenly just dying off in the middle few episodes. So yeah, a lot of plot lines are coming to an end. And that's why, because Carmilla died after only 2 episodes. And I thought that was way too fast for her. Since she was a big threat, she orchestrated the death of Dracula, or the fall of his castle. She tried to orchestrate the death of Dracula, but he didn't die because of her. Although she takes credit for it. So, yeah. The one thing I like about the pacing is much better than other seasons, actually. Even season 2, which is my favorite season, I feel like it's way too slow. They spent like more than half the season in a library researching Dracula and how to kill him and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh my god, you could have done this in literally half an episode or less. And it's like, yeah, season 2 is my favorite. But, again, they spend so much time just doing nothing. Season 1 is way too short, and I feel like the first 3 episodes go by way too slow. Like, season 1 could literally be 2 episodes. And then season 3, the pacing is just so slow and boring. Don't even watch season 3. Like, if you want to watch season 1, that's your choice, but don't even watch season 3. Because the recap on season 4 is like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And it recaps all of season 3, and it makes it seem way cooler. It makes it seem like something enjoyable, actually. That's what the recap does. And that season 3 recap, I watched it, and I was like, yeah, season 3, it actually seems cool now. It's like so many characters in season 3 had nothing to do in season 3. But this is a review on season 4, not season 3. I will not be doing a review on season 3 anytime in the future, because it's just, don't even watch it. That's the reveal. That is the season 3 reveal. Season 3's reveal is, do not watch ever in your lifetime. And if you have, I feel sorry for you. That is the reveal. But yeah, this season, there were a few funny moments. Like, Isaac was a lot more funny when he was talking to Hector that one time. He was telling Hector, he's like, I've been talking to more people, and apparently Isaac doesn't talk to people. The only human he talks to is Hector. So Hector goes, really? And then he's like, wait, are they alive? And Isaac just chuckles. He's like, some of them. And he's like, yeah, because early in the season he was talking to a corpse of a human. The evil wizard he killed from the end of season 3. So Isaac was just like, yeah, some of them are alive. I thought that was a pretty humorous scene between the two of them. And I also thought it was strange too, because when Isaac showed up to Mysteria, I thought he was going to kill Hector for killing Dracula, because that's what his plan from season 3. Find Hector, kill him, because Hector betrayed Dracula. And he even told his night creatures, kill everything in sight, but leave Hector to me. And then when he found Hector, Hector tried to explain himself, like, I'm sorry for killing Dracula, I'm trying to make it up by resurrecting him. And Isaac had previously been asked by Varney to be a part of the Resurrect Dracula plan, but Isaac rejected it, because he said, I'm doing my own business, but afterwards maybe I'll join you. And Isaac decided, let's leave Dracula dead, so he convinced Hector to get out of the plan. And Hector thought he was going to kill him still. And Isaac's like, no, I'm not going to kill you. We were children, Hector. Let's grow up now. Let's mature. And it was kind of strange. And at the very end, when Hector was talking to Lenore, he was telling Lenore that Isaac seems way more cheerful now. And I was like, yeah, Isaac really changed. But yeah, there was just some humorous moments between those two now. And there's also that one scene that's just like, that took some guts when Hector asked Isaac for his knife so he could cut off the slave ring and chop off his own finger in the process. And I thought it showed that Isaac cared a little bit more for him now, because when Isaac came back from killing Carmilla, he asked him, how's your finger? How's your hand? And it's like, it shows that he cares. He could have just looked down and saw it bandaged and not asked when he asked about it. So it showed that Isaac did care more than before. But yeah, there's a lot of plot points that I didn't like, but overall I think the plot was actually good. I think it was the best plot of season 2. I mean, the only reason I liked season 2 better is because Dracula was the main villain of the season. And like, Death is a great main villain, but Dracula is just the best main villain for the series. So that's why I was disappointed that Saint Germain couldn't bring him back as the rapist, because he would have been even more powerful then. And then if Death could have manipulated him like that to kill even more, ooh, that would have been some good story. But yeah, besides the plot, besides the settings, the characters, the themes, Castlevania doesn't have much themes to go on. This is more a show about action than anything. Like, that tells because the plot lacks a lot. So it's mostly a show about just action. There's not very many themes. Isaac gives the show themes. And as the characters grow up and mature, they do show more themes. But the majority of the show is just action. Now, I'm trying to think if there's anything I did not cover. Covered how much I hated Barney. Covered how much I hated Zamfir. Like, I really hated her. I cannot explain that enough. Covered how much the sisters were pointless this season, and you could cut out half of them from the season. It wouldn't change the plot at all. Covered out that Death was the coolest character. Covered out that Saint Germain was pretty close to the second coolest character. Covered how Trevor did nothing. Did the exact same thing as season 1, 2, and 3. Cypher, like the character development of her this season. Alucard, yeah, he picked up from where season 2 left off. Didn't even really do anything from season 3. And Greta, she was a great compliment to him. Covered that already. Covered that I didn't even know who Digan or Dragon, I don't know if there's an R in his name right there or not. He only had that one scene with Saint Germain, and then he was completely pointless. Like, I don't know why he's listed among the main cast. And Rotzko was kind of pointless too. He's just Barney's lackey who did everything. Like, when I say everything, he made the plans and executed the plans. think Ratko's conversation with Barney when he got really mad at him and told him off was actually a great plan. I mean, a great scene. And then when he told Barney he could do to Dracula for the rest of eternity once they resurrect him, I was laughing at that one. But yeah, it was immature and inappropriate, so I'm not gonna repeat it here. But that was just funny. When he said he could do to Dracula after they resurrect him, he's like, you could do that to Dracula, and I'll go on and murder. He's like, I don't want anything to do with you after we resurrect Dracula. Just go do your business, Drac. I was just like, that was funny scene. So yeah, I think I am done with this Castlevania season 4. I liked it. It's my second favorite season of Castlevania. I might have badmouthed it a lot here, but I actually did like it. It was pretty enjoyable. I watched it all in one day. Like, I was so tired I wanted to go to sleep in the morning because I was awake at 1 in the morning watching this. I did go to sleep at 3. I was like, I have to watch more. It's getting good. So yeah, I actually did like it. It's just I found a lot of characters annoying. But action scenes were on top of it all. Those action scenes were really great. I love them because they're always bloody. Like, and I like the blood's not dark colored, it's bright red colored. But yeah. And then I watched 4 episodes in the morning that time. Then I went to sleep. Then I woke up. And I went through my whole day until it was night. And then I watched the last 6 episodes. So I did watch it all in one day. So yeah, Castlevania Season 4, I give it, out of 10 stars, I would give it 4. Coincidentally, 4 out of 10 stars. Because it was enjoyable. If you want to waste a day watching it, that's up to you. It's good. It's fun. The animation for Death, the way he was designed, that was some great design for him. So yeah, would I recommend season 4? If you've seen season 1, 2, and 3, then just go ahead and watch season 4. It's better than the majority of the show. It's better than half the show already. But if you've never seen Castlevania, again, watch season 2, then watch season 4. Maybe watch the recaps on Netflix before watching season 2. Don't skip the recap. But that's all you would need to see. The recap makes it seem a lot better than it is. So do not go back and watch season 3 no matter what. When you start season 4 and you watch the recap of season 3, do not go back and watch season 3. So yeah, that was episode 1 of Odyssey Talks. I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment.